Hello my friends from EnglishClub.com. That's me, Ravi from English Harmony, and in this video, let's talk about creating routines. That's something we've touched upon before. In previous videos, we've spoken about creating habits to speak with yourself on a regular basis, because if you're really serious about your fluency improvement, you will definitely not ignore your oral fluency, basically your ability to speak fluently. And if you don't engage in a very regular spoken English practice, that side of your English fluency will be neglected, regardless of whether you want it or not, but that's going to happen. So basically, you have to create habits for yourself. And here's another habit you should definitely create. So namely, it's about thinking of how this or that particular thing is called in English. And that's the best way of building your English vocabulary, by the way. And this is a typical question I get asked all the time. I get loads of emails in, loads of blog comments asking things like, Robbie, how do I build my English vocabulary? Robbie, how do I know what vocabulary lists I should learn? And here's the thing number one to bear in mind at all times. Basically, never learn some abstract vocabulary lists because they're no good to you. They haven't got anything to do with your life. But if you go about your daily business and you constantly try to think how that thing is called in English, how that thing is called in English, how this abstract concept might be called in English, right? Then you are forced to look those things up online. And let's be honest with ourselves, guys, the internet is the best source of information nowadays, and I wouldn't be even looking for any kind of other reference material such as books or whatnot. I'd be going online. I would Google things up, and as you may know, Google has actually become a proper verb in its own right, you know. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but to Google has been added on to, what is it called, the Oxford English Vocabulary? The dictionary, to be more specific, right? So, anyway, going back to the subject at hand, you have to create a habit of constantly, as you go about your daily business, right, constantly trying to think how that would be described in English, you know? And, of course, if you are engaging in a lot of self-practice, right, that would come naturally because you would be naturally forced as you describe things, you voice out your thoughts, right? You basically think out loud. That's the main principle of the spoken practice, right? I do it all the time, and I warmly suggest you do it too. And basically, when you engage in that kind of practice, you are quite naturally forced to constantly think how this thing is called in English. You wouldn't be even trying to define the very action that you're trying to think of how it's called in English. You will just be speaking it in English. But what I'm talking about in this video is as you even communicate with your native counterparts, right? When you speak in your native language, try to think of, hold on, I might not know how this thing is called in English, and then that way build your English vocabulary. And this is a very good habit to have, right? On top of making sure that you engage in a lot of spoken practice on a daily basis, create that habit for yourself to think of 5 to 10 new English words to learn by observing the environment around you as you go about your daily business, at work, in college, with friends, whatever your situation might be. Okay, thanks for watching this video, my friend from EnglishClub.com. And in case you're watching this video on my blog or on my YouTube channel and you haven't heard about the project EnglishClub.com, definitely head to the website right now, EnglishClub.com, subscribe to the mailing list, and you'll be getting one notification a day in your inbox, which is going to bring you closer to the end goal, which is to become fluent by the end of this year. Okay, thanks for watching, my friend, and talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.